Hello, welcome back to Let's Talk Money Online. This is episode 2, and today we're going to be letting Leo talk about the book he's been reading. I don't actually know what that book is, so Leo, care to share?
Yeah, so first I just wanted to point out in this episode, Heidi hasn't been keeping up with her reading this week, so hence we're gonna be speaking about my book this week. And my book is actually one that was recommended from someone who has made, more than £100 million before the age of 30. So I thought if it's good enough for him to
Yeah,
recommend, then it's probably something that I should speak on and listen to and read. I also wanted to point out that all of the books that I've read recently on money, they've all been free. And I wanted to highlight that because I think that most people use the excuse that possibly they can't afford a book, or they can't go out and buy a book or whatever. I've been finding these books as a free PDF, downloading them onto my iPhone, and then reading them as an ebook.
yeah, all of mine are free as well. They're all on PDFs. You can just literally type it in online.
Yeah, and just find them on the internet.
Yeah, they're out there.
So
Yeah,
you guys have no excuses, right?
it definitely is accessible.
Yeah. So the book that I've been reading is called The Millionaire Master Plan, and it's a book by Roger James Hamilton, and it's called Your Personalized Path to Financial Success. And I feel like it's quite a cliche title. There's so many different books that say the millionaire this, the millionaire that, the millionaire
Yeah.
mind. It sounds like every other book,
Mm.
but from what I've got into so far, it seems like there's a little bit more substance to it. It's not, from what I've read in the first chapter or two, it's
Yeah.
not so much focused on giving you how-tos in terms of how to make money or what to do or
Mm.
instruction. So yeah.
Is it more like psychology of money, like your mindset towards it? Like what does the book offer rather than the kind of usual how to?
Yeah, I think it's more so around your mindset towards money and taking you from where you are, helping you understand where you are to where you are trying to go to or what you should be aiming to go towards. And I've had so many realizations that I'm like, rah, this is where I am. You know, those books that make you think,
Yeah.
oh, this is me or that's me. And it's like, now I'm like, okay, cool. I want to be able to identify what other people are so that I can see if I can connect with them based
Right.
off who I am, kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
It's not really a how-to book. It's more so around mindset and characteristics of who you are as a person towards money.
Yeah. Um, were there any kind of like key words in the first 2 chapters that like kind of summarizes it, or if you could give a brief summary of like the key takeaways from like the couple of chapters that you've read?
Yeah, so the chapter one, so imagine when when I first started reading, right, I was taking notes on it on my other phone, and my other phone, it ran out of storage. So all of my notes got wiped. So
Oh
I
no.
had to go back through to the chapter, read it again so that I can take notes on it again as well. So essentially the main aim behind chapter one is that we all have a level of genius.
Right.
And the level of genius is dormant if we don't know what we are and we don't know how to activate it.
Okay. I know you mentioned the test. Is this where this test comes into the
Yeah. So
oh,
so there's a
yeah.
little test that determines what your genius is, right? But there's a quote which somebody said is that we are all smart, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then
Yeah,
they live their whole life thinking that they're stupid.
yeah. I've seen that. I've seen like the illustration of it, and that always resonated with me because I really felt like the fish trying to climb a tree at school. I really
Yeah.
felt, yeah. Okay,
So
that's really
so it's exactly that. It's like, if you're always gonna think you're dumb if you're gonna try and fit into everything that everybody else is doing, if it's
yeah.
not a fit for you. So I guess this is identifying that you are a fish and judging you on your ability to be able to swim rather than climb a tree. And
Yeah.
essentially the main aim behind chapter one is helping you to understand what you are and helping you, they call it find your flow,
Okay.
and focusing on what you are best at,
Yeah.
essentially, to make money. So the different types of geniuses, they call it, there's 4 of them. And they're called, the first one is called a dynamo genius.
Okay.
And these are people that are ideas smart.
Right.
So they're the people that have all of the ideas, the fantastic things to do, and the creative people kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got, and I want you to think about what one you are as well.
Okay.
So dynamo is the people that are idea smart. You then have blaze geniuses, which are people smart.
Right.
Love people, they love connecting, they're the networker, that's their thing. You also have the tempo genius, which are senses smart.
Okay.
Not too sure on how to summarize that, but
Oh.
let me see how I can find it. Because in the results of this test, it kind of summarized all of the other ones as well.
Yeah.
So a tempo genius is someone that's grounded but get lost in activity, and all of these people are focused on their strengths in their senses and not their perseverance.
Okay.
Okay, so they don't worry that they like being extra careful. Yeah, so they always want to be like, oh, how does this feel? Does this feel good? Does it feel like this is the right thing to be doing? So they trust their senses a lot more.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so like intuition.
Yeah.
You then have the steel genius, which are detail smart.
Right.
So they're the people that do the facts, figures, the analysis, and
yeah. It's not that one.
All right, cool. So what one would you say that you are?
From your summaries, possibly the first one, dynamo. Dynamo. Yeah.
Why did you say that? So I obviously said to you that dynamo are people that are idea smart.
Yeah.
Why would you think that you're a dynamo?
Because of my creative nature, I probably have like a million ideas running through my head. And then it's execution that I tend to kind of burn out on.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to read you your summary then, right? For a dynamo genius. Obviously, you need to do the test to make sure that you 100% get the results.
Yeah.
If you guys are tuning in and watching this on YouTube, then I'm going to post the test below so that you can take the test to find out what one you are as well, right? So a dynamo genius, they're good at starting things, but not so good at finishing.
Yeah, I knew it.
So the great dynamo geniuses include famous entrepreneurs like Richard Branson, Bill Gates, as well as Steve Jobs as well. And it includes creative stars like Michael Jackson and Beethoven, and inventors and scientists like Edison and Einstein.
Right. Okay.
Right. Dynamo is spring energy, and all of these people focused on their strengths of creating.
Right.
And they ignored people who criticize them for not being organized or social enough. And they don't worry about being forgetful or missing things or missing the small things, because they're all remembered today for their creative brilliance, because they were best at answering the question, what?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds like me.
Sounds pretty accurate.
I'll take the test and I'll confirm next week. But
yeah,
that's sounding very like on the nose. So yeah, small names to follow though, right?
100%. So the dynamo genius. So this is about your natural vision. Okay, this is kind of like what's it called, star science, right? But this is going to all relate back to money at the end, right? Yeah. So your natural vision, as an example of how the 4 geniuses are different from each other, here is how each genius has a different type of vision. And these are related to a 5,000-year-old 5 elements in Eastern philosophy. Okay. So it's deep stuff, right?
Yeah.
So for a dynamo genius, your natural vision is perspective, and always asking the question, what? So perspective is related to depth of vision.
Okay.
Perspective gives a deeper view of what is possible. And dynamos are great at providing perspective, but often at the expense of the peripheral issues.
Right.
Okay. I'll have to think about that a bit deeper before I can kind of give a summary.
I mean, yeah. somewhat. Like what? Like having tunnel vision,
Mm.
missing, like
Missing all of the external factors and
just like this is the idea. Thank you very much. Like
yeah,
that's charge ahead. But yeah, because like to me, peripheral is like yeah, you're not.
the externals. Yeah, so it says that you use the frontal lobe of your brain more so often, which is your
Okay.
intuitive thinking. And it's all
Yeah.
about being your best when you have your heads in the clouds.
Reading me. The book is reading me. Reading
All
me.
right, cool. Sounds pretty accurate. So yeah, again, I'm gonna post a test below.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube, and of course, make sure you do it as well, Heidi.
Yes, I will.
Um,
I will.
so yeah, so the more we follow our geniuses, the more that we grow our flow, and the
Hmm.
more wealth that we can create. And there's like a frequency that links everything or everybody or the four geniuses together.
Hmm.
Um, and that asks the question why. And that leads to the question asked by each of the other frequencies. Yours is obviously what, and mine is how.
Right. So which
Okay.
one are you?
All right, cool. So me, I am. What one would you think I am?
Oh my gosh, I can't lie. Once I heard dynamite.
You forgot about the rest of it. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
What was
So,
this?
so you've got Dynamo, which is idea smart. You've
Yep.
got a Blaze, which is people smart. You've got
Yeah.
Tempo, which is senses smart, and you've got Steel, which is details smart.
I'd say you were Blaze or Still.
Why?
I mean, just from how I see you operate, it's more maybe I see more of you being Blaze, your social networking, stuff like that. Like I think you got onto that at a very young age. Like I know you've spoken to me about you had a mentor, stuff like that. Like
Mm.
people just was not doing that at the age that you was, and I think that really
Yeah.
gave you an advantage point. But I don't know. Well, what did you get?
I
Or I
actually
what
got Steel.
you do get Still.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
or Still.
So I got Steel. So Steel geniuses. Okay, just to give you guys, for those of you guys that are detail oriented like me, Steel geniuses are people like Mark Zuckerberg, Marie Curie, Benjamin Franklin, right?
Yay.
Love to get things right, but we don't like it when others get things wrong. Essentially, the whole aim is to find people that complement your skill and don't try to be good in areas that you're not naturally good at,
Yeah.
because that will kill your flow in being able to make money in what you're good at.
Yeah.
Like as an example, this is why, and even more so after reading this is why I'm doing all of the editing and the social side and connecting it to this and connecting it to that, because
Yeah.
I know that's kind of like how I find my flow.
Yeah.
And obviously, once you know who you're working with is, or what they do and what their tendencies are,
Yeah.
chuck them the jobs that they're good at
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're
That
not good at. And then,
it makes sense.
yeah, so it says, where is my thing? Okay, cool. So I take care with detail. I'm often overcautious. There are also people like Warren Buffett, Henry Ford, Mark Zuckerberg that are also the same as me, and
Mm.
also entrepreneurs like Rockefeller and Ray Kroc, which is the guy that has McDonald's.
Right. Yeah.
Have you watched the film, the McDonald's film?
Yeah. I did. I did watch that with my dad.
And you forgot it.
Um, it was a lot of like he was ruthless. I didn't really know who was who, but I just know the people that actually started McDonald's, they weren't very business orientated and they
Yeah,
they got kicked to the curb.
yeah, yeah. Literally, the people that actually founded it weren't the people that made McDonald's what it
Yeah,
is, really,
yeah.
which is crazy. So,
They lost a lot of money.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Um, so yeah, my natural vision as a still genius is clarity, which is asking the question how can it be done, or how can I do it? Um, Vision, my vision is detail, and I get clarity and being able to see things in black and white, and I can pick up details that other people miss. And I often it's usually at the expense of other people. Meaning the people, what was it, the people one? The Blaze geniuses, that's actually my opposite.
Oh, okay.
The ones that are people smart.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because I'm very savage and quite cutthroat when it comes to numbers.
Fair enough.
So it's like,
I know from the time you said the McDonald's franchise guy, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. He was savage.
Literally, cool. But anyways, let's move on. Okay, cool. So the next part of it is to create a future vision plan, right? And I don't know if you're well, you're probably on your laptop anyways, but this is a vision plan that it says that you need to create for this next year, right? And they say that you need to create it in such a way that you're speaking as if you're in next year and it's been done.
Right.
And you're speaking from an aspect that you're saying, in the last year, I have.
Yeah.
And you're writing this down. So first thing that you need to start off with is my personal cash flow has, then my assets have, my time has, my job and business has, my team has, my customers have, my partners have, my health has, my family has, my friends have, and my sense of purpose has, and my contribution has.
Okay.
And what it says is to divide it into quarters to pretty much set your path.
Yeah.
So you know how like businesses operate in quarters, right?
Right. Yeah.
Essentially, it's saying to do the same thing and what you need to be done to basically keep on track.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is the second part. I guess this is the second chapter. And it's something called the Wealth Lighthouse, which dates back 5,000 years to ancient China and ancient India as well.
Okay.
You know, it's about to get deep. Right?
Yeah.
And this is what it says, right? The foundation of the Wealth Lighthouse is about mastery of our wealth and our ability to create an abundant flow of value and money. And we do that through our lives, regardless of the market conditions. So whether or not the economy is good, whether or not the economy is bad, we should still be able to create a flow of money because we have a flow of value.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So it has 4 sides to connect the 4 geniuses and 9 levels. Okay, so the 4 sides are firstly the foundation prism. And I think it's probably best to speak about this part first as well before I get into the second, third, and fourth. But the foundation prism, so this is essentially for people that are basically, well, still learning about money, still, trying to get good at money and so on, right? So this is where, if you're not so good at money, take notes, and you need to find out what level you're on within this prism. Okay, this is called the foundation prism. Now, the foundation prism is about mastering your personal flow. And you have, on the first level, it's called the infrared level. And infrared geniuses fall deeper in debt month after month. And usually, infrared is a horrible feeling of stress, anxiety, and confusion. Okay, so I don't know if that resonates with you if you're watching, but essentially this is the infrared level. This is the first level. And what they say is that you can't get to the next level without first mastering the level that you're at.
Okay, that makes sense.
What I realized was that the further that I got into the book, I realized that I'm at higher levels, but there's other levels before that I kind of need to master to make it more solid.
Right. Yeah.
It's like having a weak foundation. You can't build something massive if crap. So that's the first one. Now the good thing is about being on infrared, you need to, or you can get out of it within the space of 3 months.
Okay.
But
does it give you like tips for doing?
This is the thing that I wanted to get into, like the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
It's that you have to take drastic action and tap into discipline.
Yeah.
That's what it said. Essentially, I mean, if you're somebody that's in mad amount of debt and you go deeper into debt each month, it's like you do need to do something really different to what you're doing.
Yeah. I've read that in other books before. They do say like before you do anything else, if you're in debt, that is your main priority. And if you have to get another job, like if that's feasible for you, get another job for like just that little short period of time. But that has to be your main priority to get out of it. You can't, yeah, you can't move on. There's no point having savings if you're in debt. There's no point investing if you're in debt. There's no point trying to get rid of your debt.
Yeah.
Get
I
rid of debt.
mean, you say that, but I've also read books that have spoken about how, even if you have debt, you need to have some savings, or at least being able to make the habit of contributing to your savings as well.
Yeah, I've seen most of the ones I read, they say start with debt. I personally recommend having an emergency savings though, but that has to be priority. Like I'd say, because I've experienced it, I've done it that way. I've been in debt and I just snowballed it and just was like, I'm clearing it and got rid of it. Meant, yeah, difference.
How did you manage to get through, or how long did it take you to get through it?
Um, not too. It wasn't a massive amount of debt.
Okay.
It was just silly debts of like buy now, pay in a year. And I'm like,
Okay.
I'll pay it before. It's a year. This has 60% interest on it. I'm only paying like £50 off of the actual item and I'm paying like 100 interest.
That,
Like
that's crazy.
that. And then on top of that, a car payment. And then I knew I was going to uni and I was just
Mm.
like, I'm not going to be able to work full time. So a few months, like it's about 6 months, to do that. But yeah, it just meant that's tunnel vision.
Yeah.
That's
But that's
no,
you, isn't it? That's literally
yeah,
you.
yeah. Unfortunately, because it was a small amount of debt, didn't have to get a second job. But it
Yeah.
just meant pause.
How did you feel after? Because I usually find that when people are restricted in something very, very strict, they usually have like an outburst at the end of it, or what, did you go crazy after, or what happened?
I couldn't really go crazy immediately after because then I've started uni and I'm working in care. So
Okay.
that money is for my bills. That money is not play money, but I felt much more relaxed because I just knew I don't have to do crazy hours now.
Mm.
I prioritize uni, and then I only need a little bit to pay my bills, and then the rest is just I can do what I like really with that money, um, which wasn't much because it's care. But when I got my full-time job back in finance, I did not do any of the saving that I said I was going to do. Like,
You
I'm going to
guys,
save up 5 months worth of my bills so that I don't have to work. No, getting paid again after scrimping and saving to pay off the debt, scrimping and saving because I'm not getting paid the way I'm used to,
mm,
and then going back into a finance role, getting paid. Yeah, I went a little bit I went a little bit silly with it. And then it's only recently again that I'm like, I'm back in a full-time job after coming like from uni, full-time hours. And I'm being sensible and my tunnel vision is now on, not splashing my cash like it's monopoly money.
that's the worst one.
uh Again, because I think after working in care, it's a very emotionally taxing job. I said forget everything. I'm buying, I'm going out, I'm doing this, doing that. I don't care. I'm living my life. I'm free from the shackles of
Mm,
SA and minimum wage. Like, no. So
mm.
I don't recommend doing that though.
Well, I feel like I said, I feel like that's gonna be what's gonna happen if you do the mad thing and try and clear off all your debts in a confined period of time. But
Yeah.
I guess at least you've got that mental freedom now that you don't need to worry about the debts no more.
Yeah. I'd still, yeah, I do see what you mean, because I suppose if you pay it off a bit slower, but you still live your life, you're less likely to have, like within reason, you're less likely to have that outburst at the end. I think you just have to know yourself and know how disciplined you are. If you're like me, maybe just take it a bit slower.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very hot or cold person as well. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, I'll probably clear it off ASAP and then do the mad thing. But there's
Yeah.
nothing with doing the mad thing. It's cool. Just enjoy yourself. You deserve it. Treat yourself. But it's just the same with me as well. Like, I'm doing a no carb diet. Like, the only carbs I eat is porridge, right?
Oh.
And it's like I'm seeing so many food things on Instagram, like these food challenges, and you should go here and go there, or the hot spots to eat in London. And I'm saving this, saving that, saving this, saving that. So when I finish my diet,
mad. I'm a little bit like that if I fast, like if I've done a fast, and it's so bad because it's like this really defeats why I did a fast.
Yeah.
But now, like, soup or something, or like slow porridge, like slowly break it in. But it's like, oh, I've just fasted. Let me go get a takeaway now. And it's like, what was the point? What? Like, I do it for like spiritual purposes, but it's still even on a spiritual level so defeating the point of doing the fast. So yeah.
100%. Cool. So yeah, that's the infrared level. That is essentially getting out of debt, and you can do it within 3 months. He says you need to take specific drastic action and tap into discipline, which I guess is something that you've done, that you've been a testament of. Perfect. You get out of it and you need to advance into red level. And red level is when your wages only just cover your lifestyle. And to get out of this, you have to increase your self-worth and decrease self-denial.
Okay.
Which is deep, because it's like, I feel like a lot of people are stuck in this situation. And I say a lot of people, I say most people that have an average 9 to 5, they are in a situation where they don't have a lot of self-worth.
Yeah.
And I mean that by they perhaps may not feel like they're capable of doing anything more.
Yeah.
They don't value their self in terms of, my time is worth more. I can do so much more creative stuff, make more money, and live a good lifestyle. And they get caught up in the red level, which is where your wages only just cover your lifestyle. So you're pretty much working to live.
Yeah. I feel like that is average. And it's not to like shame or blame anyone, or like if you do fall into that category, like I've definitely fallen into that category like over many years. Hence why I read the books. I need, do you know what I mean? Like, I need the help. It's definitely like a conditioning, and it's like a herd mentality. Like, if that's all you see people doing, it can feel like, well, that's all there is. Like, I mean, growing up in Langley, like, for a lot of, I don't know, I guess as a teenager, this felt like this is all there is. Like, this bubble that I was in, it felt like this is life. And then you go outside and then you travel, and it's like, oh my gosh, so many different people exist and living different lives, doing different things, thinking differently, having different life experiences. Like, it's like everybody needs to go through that paradigm shift, which is like a shift in your mindset, which I suppose is like coming out of increasing, like you're saying, like the book says, increasing your self-worth. So like, I suppose the self-denial is just like, stop saying no, that you can't do this, you couldn't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He says for the red level, what you need to do to escape the red level is to tap into your passion and to get a positive cash flow and a rhythm that leads to daily fulfillment.
Okay.
So I think what he means by that is that if you can find something that you're passionate about that can give you that extra cash flow, if you can do that each day, it's going to give you that sense of fulfillment, which is going to lead you into wanting to take more of that action, which can generate you more of that income that you're making.
Yeah. And that's everybody is capable of something. Like, everybody has some sort of something. Like I feel like when you say talent, maybe a lot of people they go straight to creative or like I'm not an entrepreneur. But it's like there's so many different ways. Like, are you a good speaker? You could get paid to do public speaking. Are you a good teacher? You could do training courses. You could be, do you know, there's so many ways. And I think it is. And I think that ties in kind of what was being spoken about in chapter one of finding your flow.
Mm.
I feel like so many of us fight against our own nature, especially like if the way you are and the way you operate is like they didn't like that at school. Do you know what I mean? It didn't like go well for you at school. It can make you kind of feel like oh, something's wrong, like something's wrong with you, but it's not. You do have to tap into it, and it's like it's interesting that's in your book because that's actually something I've been trying to do in my personal life is just lean into, um, like yeah, I get very hyper focused. I've learned to lean into that. I try to be balanced and try to, but it doesn't work for me. If I'm fixated on something, I've learned I need to give my all to that. And then I get a lot more done than when I try to fight it and do like 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of that. No, I'm going to do this for 8 hours and then I'm going to move on.
Literally. So yeah, I agree. It's, find your passion, find something that you can get fulfillment from, and repeat that day in, day out if it can give you cash flow, and just advance on that. Like if you're someone that's like me, that is a steel genius and you're very detail oriented, you could do something like coding or something like that, and you could do that self-employed. You could then go on to start up a coding agency or something where you teach people to code and just leverage your time. Or if you're someone that's idea smart, like I read a book once and it said that there's certain people that are literally paid to have ideas. Like
I need to find this.
yeah. So if you're a dynamo genius and you have good ideas,
Yeah.
then there's people that are paid literally just to sit on something or to sit on a problem and come up with an idea that they can suggest. And they're paid in abundance, I'm telling you.
I need to tap into that because
There you go. There you go. So there's
mm,
something for everyone. Just tap into it, and it doesn't need to be in a 9 to 5. But if it isn't a 9 to 5, find the area that you can use within your 9 to 5 to use your genius and excel in that area. And if there isn't, then forget the 9 to 5 because it's just not going to fulfill you.
yeah.
Okay, find something else to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the red level, is escaping just covering your lifestyle. And then the third level of the foundation of the wealth lighthouse is the orange level, which is I work hard to make a living, which is essentially extra money at the end of the month, but still chasing that source of income, i.e. your self-employment or your job or your business. And essentially it's basically giving that source of income control over you and giving and just leaning on that too much.
Yeah. So there's still not that like level of freedom. You might have a bit of extra cash, but you're still tied to that job at the end of the day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really what we're working for. And I feel
Yeah.
like this is what keeps people trapped, and maybe they can't get out of this foundation level because maybe they're not in debt every month, they're not just breaking even, but they're making some profit. This is what's preventing you to go to the next level of this wealth lighthouse, because you're now getting some returns for being in that situation that you're in. You're now being rewarded for focusing solely on that source of income, for chasing that job, for being told what to do all the time by your boss. You're cool with that because at the end of the month I can take a holiday.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the month I can go out, or at the end of the month, whatever, like I can do something nice. And because you're getting that nice reward at the end of it, that's a dopamine release that's going to keep you addicted to how you got that.
Right. That makes sense.
Deep. They say that typically if you're on the orange level, then you have a strong work ethic, but you're not sure on how to turn it into a higher level of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I guess can be frustrating for some people. They're like, I know I can do more. I know I can do good things, but they just don't know how. And it says you should shift from action to attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And you create a unique identity and master your market. You need to learn to determine your value, test and measure, and build your personal brand. And that will get you into the next level of the lighthouse, which is the enterprise prism.
And does it within these, like, does it give you tips on how to do that? Does it give you the practical advice on how you would develop your personal brand
It probably
specifically?
does, but I haven't finished this chapter yet. I'm like,
Getting ahead of myself.
this is exactly what I'm like. It's like, okay, cool, I'll learn something, but what do I have to do now? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, it doesn't give tips, but I feel like this is a major key. It's like, if you've got work ethic, if you're good at something and you can make extra cash flow, it's like, build your personal brand on that. It's like, if you're working in a job, let's just say, where you are a marketing manager, as an example, or you take care of the digital marketing or social media management for the company, build your own personal brand on that same skill set, if of course it aligns with your passion and, you know, your genius.
Yeah.
And then that's going to allow you to start attracting money to you rather than you having to take action.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Aside from that, where did I get up to? All right, cool. So I got up to the enterprise prism, which is the second prism. And there's 3 levels within this one. I'm just going to run through these pretty quickly. So the enterprise prism has 3 levels as well. And this is about mastering market flow. And the 3 levels are, they kind of compare it to music. So you've got the yellow level, which is the person that plays the music.
Okay.
The green level, who's the performer. And you've got the blue level, that's like the conductor, or, you know, like the
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah.
Now, the enterprise prism is about the ability to manage investments and enterprises. But of course, you can't get there unless you've mastered the foundation level, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you're managing investments and enterprises is through your effectiveness in following or leading a flow of value and money through your team.
Okay.
And the markets that you operate in. So the whole enterprise prism consists of being securely employed or self-employed, to excelling on a high-performing team, to yourself managing multiple teams and streams of income. All right, so this is what he boils them down to. So the yellow level is the first level in the enterprise prism.
Yeah.
Yellow level is, I love what I do and I create my own flow.
Okay.
So this is, you have built a reputation and you know how to attract business.
Right.
And you can create things, you can, you know, give prices to certain products and certain things as well. And you're also good at promoting a new product.
Okay.
What do you think's the limiting factor here?
I think somebody could just, I don't know what the limiting factor would be, but it sounds like quite a comfortable place. Like you could just get comfortable with that. But maybe I'm still not hearing like complete financial freedom, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But don't make me guess.
So if I carry on reading about the yellow level. So the yellow level, again, is the player. Remember, it's the player of the instruments. It's the person
Okay.
that you're doing all things to be able to make the music.
Okay. I suppose you're not really that in charge then, if I relate it to conductor.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So in order for the music to be made, you
Yeah.
need to be the one creating, pricing things, promoting new things. Everything revolves around you.
Okay, so it's a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah.
So although you're out of that level and you are now the creator, and this is where I was seeing myself at.
Right.
I'm very much a yellow level player because I know how to promote new products. I know how to promote new services. I know how to create and attract business, and business comes to me. But the moment that I stop doing something, flatline.
Yeah.
You know, so everything revolves around you. Your income relies on you showing up, and it took independence to get you to that level, but it takes leadership to get you to the next level.
Right.
So to get to the next level, which is the green level, the performer, you need to focus on choosing the right talent to have in your team, of course, and sacrificing the belief that only you can get it done the right way.
Yeah. And
Just,
from the sounds of Mr. Steele over here, that's definitely
I'm
that's
telling you,
that's
it's
definitely
my biggest struggle is letting other people try and do the thing that I want to do because I know I can get it perfect.
delegate.
Yeah, delegation for me is the hardest thing ever. But at least I know and understand now what I can delegate and what I should be doing myself.
Yeah, yeah. And that
You know?
youth book's giving you that understanding.
Yeah, it's like I know all things to do with numbers and details and stuff like that. Let me find my flow. Let me run with that.
Yeah.
If it's not to do with that, someone else, you know, who else has that genius level that can
Yeah.
take care of it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I think wait, was that everything that I read on what level was that? That was green level. No, that was yellow level.
That was yellow.
Yeah, okay, cool. I haven't done the conductor level yet, but this is the final level that I've done. Which is the green level performer.
Okay.
So if you're a green level, it's you create flow through teams and rhythm. And leading a team profitably has rewards that are exponential. Okay, so being a green level performer is great. And the key now as a green level performer is to focus on others and not on you. And as a green level performer, you're good at not only just making you money, but making other people money.
Right.
So of course it's like, okay, cool, you know what to do, but you know how to show other people what to do to be able to get the same result. So you're getting everybody paid, not just you.
Yeah.
And the way that you grow your wealth as a green level performer is through knowing how to find the right partnerships or the right team.
Okay.
And the winning formula at a green level performer is creating and building the culture of the team.
Right.
So yeah, for me, I feel like that's my next level. Again, I still need to master what else is in the other prisms and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I feel like green level is what I need to kind of get to next.
No, I feel like you've summarized everything quite well. I did just have a couple of questions because I'm thinking for people, maybe people watching that might be a bit skeptical. And I feel like you are like a good person to answer this. Like if you haven't watched episode 1, then they might not know where you're coming from if they're just tuning in for the book.
Yeah.
Maybe for somebody that's they're broke and they're hearing this, just make money, find a way to make money, find your flow. It might just be hitting a place of cynicism. How would you respond to that, like coming from like what you discussed in the last episode about having a unstable background financially, like having the instability there, like everything that you're building, like you've built pretty much, right? So how would you address that fear? Because I know that a lot of people that are cynical about these kind of things, it's just fear. But you're actually genuinely someone that has, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Come from, it's not like, oh, I come from mum and dad's money. Like this is money you had to make.
Yeah, 100%. And that's really a good I guess, what's the word? It's a good way that you've been able to see that. And it's true in what you're saying, the fact that is more time than not, people are cynical because they don't know or they don't understand it. And I think for me, it's a matter of you need to put yourself in a position to try it, to see what happens. And if you don't, then of course you're only limiting yourself. And for me, like something that I live by is that I always want to explore my potential. I always want to explore what am I capable of doing? What's next? What's bigger? What, where can I go? And if you don't have that mindset and you're so restricted in the things that you would happy to be sticking to, you're always going to be cynical or skeptical of things that are different to what you're currently doing. So my piece of advice is just try it. And until you've tried something, you can't write it off. But even to take it a step further, trying something may not necessarily be enough for you to get the right taste of the fruits of the labor from doing it.
Yeah.
I've done so many things that I haven't been paid for that would require me to go through that period and then I get paid later on down the line. Most people aren't willing to do that because they're so stuck and conditioned to get paid every week or every month, whatever kind of thing. So, I guess I practice delayed gratification, but in this day and age with, I guess, the TikTok mindset and, the Instagram reels is like, everybody wants instant gratification. And in
Yeah.
order for you to get wealthy, you need to have a balance of both.
Yeah.
To have that fuel that you want instant gratification to drive you, but you need to have that delayed gratification for you to sustain you with what you're trying or what you're looking to do as well long term.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does that answer the question?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I mean, if you've got any other questions, feel free to ask, because I'm definitely somewhere in the lower elements of that pyramid. So, we've got one yellow and then one maybe already orange.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not on yellow yet. I still need to get the foundations right. Remember, it's about sorting yourself out from the ground level up. And if any of them's weak, you can't say that you're at a certain level until you master from the ground up.
That makes sense. That's fair. And just going back to like delayed gratification, like everything is a process. There's actually no get rich quick schemes. If you see it, you're probably about to get scammed. There's definitely easier ways of working and easier ways of making money depending on what you think easy is. But yeah, you get out of life of what you put in. And just think of it like, growing a tree. You plant it, you want to make sure it's got some good roots, otherwise a storm comes and that bad boy is falling down. Yeah, I think in a culture that's very fast, it's okay to just take your time and do things correctly and sort out those foundations and actually build something.
100%. And I think in summary, from what I've got from this book, and I guess from what you guys would have got from this video, is that you need to understand yourself first before you can understand the amount of money that you want to make or how to make that money. It doesn't matter what opportunity comes your way, or whether that be a new business venture, side hustle, or extra job or whatever. If it comes your way and you grab hold of it and you try it, it could perhaps collapse because of where you are in your journey in this wealth lighthouse. And one thing that I've learned, and it's a quote that I took from another book, is that the roots will always determine your fruits. Some people, they want to change the fruits that they get in on their tree of life or their tree of finances, but they haven't changed their roots. You first need to determine what's on the inside, what's the foundations, and that's going to change the results that you get in as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess with that, let's call it a wrap for today.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for tuning in. On next week's session, you're going to find out Heidi's results to find out what level of genius she is.
Yeah.
We're going to speak a bit more about what she's reading as well and how it can help you.
Yeah.
So let's talk money, guys. Have a great week. And until next time, I'll see you then.
Bye.
The amount of money I'm going to be making would hurt your parents' feelings. You remember the class where I taught you all how to make it rain?